Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're in Wadley, Alabama on the campus of Southern Union State Community College. Impressive win in the opening contest for the Lady Bison over the Lady Trojan of Central Alabama. A 7-4 win. Able to grab a 6-run lead and then hang on to that lead despite a pretty potent 6th inning. When Central Alabama had a couple of home runs, one from Nicole Hoots, that being a 2-run shot, and then Courtney Ray's solo home run in the same inning to cut that lead in half. But Southern Union hangs on to win it 4 in a row now. Won by Southern Union, trying to make it 5 straight as we get ready for the nightcap of the doubleheader. Coming to the plate first, Shatima Smith. Not a big change in the batting order from Game 1 to Game 2, but there are some. Smith, Gibbons, Hoots, Mowry, Ray, Fielding. Those are all the same as a game ago. Then you've got Rice, Bishop, and Caldwell. That represents some change. So the bottom third of the order seeing a bit of change for Central Alabama as they try to split the doubleheader. Meanwhile, Southern Union looking for the sweep. Jenna Ballard stepping into the circle, and she will get this one underway with a toss towards home plate. Good crowd on hand, and due in part to the fact that it is sophomore night, and sophomores were recognized in between contests. Jenna Ballard, it is her 8th appearance of the year, 6 starts, 2-2 overall, 1 complete game, 18 innings of work, 24 hits given up, 13 runs, 10 earned, 8 apiece in the balls and strikes. And then 1 home run given up, a 3.82 ERA for Jenna Ballard. Rest of the defense for Southern Union behind the plate, Morgan Holloway. Emily Malone is at first. And Emily Malone on the receiving end of the 1-3. And out goes Smith here in the first. Kendra Gibbons to the plate next. Rest of that infield, Molly White at second. Shortstop Morgan Bradford. Brooke Ward is at third. In the outfield, Peyton Swisher. In left, the center fielder is Peyton Kirkus. And Sierra Bond is in right. And right on cue to right. Kendra Gibbons gets aboard. Throw goes to first, and Malone and Gibbons collide, and Gibbons a little bit gimpy. Well, there's the shot into right field to Sierra Bond, but Bond coming in with the throw, and you see it pulled Malone off the bag, and when it did, she and Gibbons collided. And if the throw is on the mark, doesn't get her anyway. But if the throw is on the mark, you don't have this. The collision. I'm wondering, did Gibbons ever touch the bag? Nice. She did get first then. All right. Looking at the replay, I wasn't sure if she had. Yep, there she goes. So she hit the bag before venturing off to the right. Nicole Hoots, who had the 2-run shot in the opening game, has Gibbons over at first, 1 out. Hoots made Twitter both defensively and offensively. Made a nice defensive play in foul territory. And obviously had the 2-run shot to make Twitter offensively. And how do they make Twitter? Well, great plays. And how do you see those great plays? Hashtag ACCC Sports on both Twitter and Facebook. 2-1 the count on Hoots. Chelsea Mowry has moved to the on-deck circle. Jenna Ballard's 2-1. And the count will even up at 2 apiece. Hoots, a .341 hitter coming into the day. Hit her 6th home run and got RBIs 25 and 26 in Game 1. As Gibbons over at first, has Mowry behind her. Talk about some power in front of you and some high batting averages behind you. Ballard missing with the heat, high and away. And the count will run full at 3-2. Here is the 3-2 offering. High with the pitch. Hoots gets walked. And a couple of base runners on here in the top part of the first. Certainly a different story for Central Alabama in the first inning of this one as compared to the first inning of the previous contest, in which Smith, Gibbons, and Hoots were retired 1, 2, 3. Here in game number 2, Smith grounding into the 1-3, but since then, Gibbons with a single, Hoots with a walk. And here comes Mowry up the middle. Base hit. Gibbons motoring around third, comes home. And Central Alabama grabs the early lead in this one. Mowry picking up the RBI. That is her 43rd of the year. Hoots winds up at second. Mowry, the base runner, at first. And Courtney Ray coming to the plate. So runners on the corners for Courtney Ray. Ashton Fielding is on deck. Ray had a solo shot in the same inning, the 6th, in which Hoots delivered with a 2-run blast. Down the line to Malone. Steps on the bag to get out one. Got to tag the runner, and that's what Bradford does. Gets Mowry, turns the double play, and only minimal damage in the top part of inning 1. But it's a lead, and it belongs to Central Alabama. We go to the bottom of the inning. Top of the order for Southern Union. Old Lady Bison softball here on the campus of Southern Union, Wadley, Alabama. Southern Union coming to bat. And the lineup that you saw in the opening game, it is identical. White, Ward, Bradford, Smithson, Swisher, Malone, Kirkus, Holloway, and Bond. And when you put 7 runs on the board in the opening contest, why change things around? Might as well use the same 9. Molly White coming to the plate to begin things. 1-0 contest. Central Alabama picking up a run in the top part of the inning as Chelsea Mowry had a single up the middle that brought in Gibbons. First run for Central Alabama in the opening game didn't come until the 4th inning. In this one, it happens in the 1st. Natalie Johnsey on the hill for the Trojans. Last time these two teams met for a doubleheader was on March 23rd in Alexander City. And Johnsey started game 2, struck out 11. She is the number 3 strikeout leader in the ACCC with a total of 151. Here's an interesting fact, though. How many times do you lead in strikeouts and are one of the statistical leaders in saves? But she is also among the tops in saves. Of course, it's only 3, but where the ACCC is concerned, that puts you in the top 5. So in the top 5 in saves, and Actually, number 2 in the league in strikeouts. Count even to a piece on Molly White. The official talking with Johnson going to the plate. Not sure what that's all about. And it ends with a smile and a chuckle. But you got to believe since Blue walked it out. Well, now I'm looking at the catcher, and that is Courtney Ray. And apparently she got popped. And that's the reason for the hand delivery of the softball to Johnsey. Just an opportunity for Ray. Wow, that just about took somebody's noggin off in the dugout. There's a lot of webbing in front of the dugout. That found an open spot. And that was Coach, as a matter of fact, that almost got hit in foul territory. And Molly White will come back and do it again. Trying to drop it down the line in right, but Jody Caldwell not playing particularly far off the line. Rest of that defense, by the way, for Central Alabama. Courtney Ray behind the plate. Nicole Hoots is at first. Shelby Rice at second. That represents a change. Shatima Smith was at second in the opening game. But it is Shelby Rice at second. Lauren Bishop is the shortstop at third. Kendra Gibbons, the outfield, has Ashton Fielding in left. And Shatima Smith, who is at second. Now in center field, Jody Caldwell is the right fielder. There were 3 errors committed in the opening game, and Smith did commit 1 of the 3. Don't know if that necessarily is the logic behind the position swap. Count full, 3-2 on Molly White. It is a gorgeous night here in Wadley. Temperature is expected to drop down into the 50s range. Here's the 3-2 offering. Knuckled towards Bishop. She'll send it over to first. And Molly White is out number 1. Brooke Ward next. Morgan Bradford moving to the on-deck circle. If you have not been to Wadley, Alabama and Southern Union, then visit the campus. You'll enjoy it. My first opportunity to be here, and a good-looking place. A lot of new construction, brand new facilities. Tried to find out in the previous game and in between when Southern Union was actually built. And I mentioned in the opening game that there is a log cabin-like structure when you come on campus, which leads me to believe it was probably part of the original compound here. So Southern Union has likely been here a while. But almost everything that you see is, well, at least appears to be of very new construction. Count even, 1 apiece, including this field. Brooke Ward batting here in the bottom part of the first. 1-0 advantage, Central Alabama. A Central Alabama squad that averages a little better than a home run a game. Top to bottom, they'll put it on the other side of the wall. High with a pitch to Ward. Brooke Ward in the opening game. Couple of singles, couple of runs scored. It's the lady behind her that was the big package for Southern Union in the opening game. Morgan Bradford trying to slap it over towards third in foul territory. Nice crowd on hand for this one, due in large part to the ceremonies in between, recognizing the sophomores. It is indeed the equivalence to senior night at a 4-year school. Struck out as Ward, 2 gone for Morgan Bradford. What a game one for Morgan Bradford. A single that drove in 2 runs in the first, a single and a run scored in the third, a triple that drove in 2 runs in the fourth. She was 3 for 4, 4 RBIs, and a run scored in the opening contest. Sends this one down the line foul. Came into the day averaging .336. The 4 RBIs gives her 21 now. And believe it or not, she's put it on the other side of the wall once this year. Good power in the legs and also good bat speed through the strike zone. One and 2 on Bradford. Alex Smithson on deck, awaiting, and now coach out to talk to his catcher, Courtney Ray. And it's that same hand that got the official out to talk with John C. earlier. I'm not sure when that happened. It was back during the Molly White at-bat. And there you see that she is in pain. And that's what coach saw. And apparently it is at the base of the thumb. She just pointed towards the base of the thumb. Well, you got to admire the fact that she was not going to tell coach. It's just that coach saw it. And so they are examining the finger of Courtney Ray. And not only is this significant from the standpoint of catching behind the plate, but Courtney Ray is responsible for 8 home runs and 41 RBIs this year, a .346 hitter. So not only could it potentially affect your play behind the plate defensively, but at the plate offensively. And they're continuing to look at Courtney Ray. Here again, you can see just as soon as she catches, and that was caught in the webbing. It wasn't caught on the palm, but it created some pain. And now it looks like Courtney Ray is going to exit. And there is a new catcher coming in. So Courtney Ray leaves. And the new catcher is, I believe, Hoots. Hoots, who plays first, apparently is going to catch. So that means somebody new's got to go to first, and we'll see who that is. But Courtney Ray is out. And Hoots is going to catch. And she is going to get a few warm-up tosses from Natalie Johnson. Well, we already knew that Hoots does a little bit of everything. Now we know that catching behind the plate is part of that repertoire. Well, we will see who goes to first. That's the next question. Is it possible? No, I wouldn't think Ray. You're sending Ray over to the dugout because she's in pain. And though you're going to be catching less throws at first than you are behind the plate, you're still not going to play at first, I wouldn't think. But we still don't have a first baseman to my knowledge. Let's see who comes out of this huddle and heads towards first. Well, it looks like it's going to be Mowry. So the DP, the designated player, Mowry, who pitched in the opening game, is going to go to first. So Mowry now at first, and behind the play is Hoots. And the remaining question is, who bats in that 5 spot? When Courtney Ray's spot comes up in the order, we will see. Count even 2 apiece on Morgan Bradford. Popped up towards left field. Fielding not able to get to it. Looked like Fielding initially hesitated a moment. And that hesitation enough to get Morgan Bradford to second with a double. And the big day for Bradford continues. Add a double to her plethora of hits. Singles, triples, doubles now for Bradford as Alex Smithson comes to the plate. Tying run at second here in the bottom part of inning one. Peyton Schwisher on deck. 0-1 on Alex Smithson. Ashton Fielding, Shelby Rice, Lauren Bishop all slated to come to the plate in the top of the second. Popped up towards center. Smith underneath, and Smithson is out, number 3. 4 go up, 3 go down. 1 left on. That one, Bradford with a double. We head to the top of the second, bottom part of the order. Ashton Fielding, Shelby Rice, Lauren Bishop all coming to bat for the Trojans of Central Alabama. ACCC Game of the Week. Wadley, Alabama on a Thursday. Central Alabama, the Bison of Southern Union. Game number 2 of the Twin Bill. Opening game, a victory for Southern Union. Trying to make it 5 in a row now. And if you're going to play your best softball, not throughout the course of a season, but at parts of the season, you want to be doing it at the end of the year. Getting ready to compete in the state tournament in Alabaster at Veterans Park. It happens the last weekend of the month, not that far away. Actually, a couple of weeks from now, we will be off to Alabaster. On the inside part of the plate to Ashton Fielding. No teams in the ACCC softball ranked in the top 20 in the NJCAA. That is not true for baseball. Hit to Bradford at short and has it over to first to get Fielding. In baseball, you've got Chat Valley in the top 10. You've got Wallace Hansful in the top 20. And you've got LBW in the also receiving votes category. And you've got Wallace Dothan, I think, in that category as well. Shelby Rice getting her first at-bat of the day. Did not start in the opening game. Starting in this one and batting here in the top of the second. But yeah, the ACCC going to be a great spot for softball in Alabaster, an even better spot for baseball in Ozark at Eagle Stadium. And really, outside of that top 20 and that also receiving votes category, you got to consider the likes of Faulkner State. Faulkner State is still the number 1 team in the South, I believe, unless they've been passed recently by Chat Valley. That was a tight battle for first. But Faulkner State right in amongst the leaderboard in the South. 3-1 the count on Shelby Rice. Lauren Bishop next. Nobody aboard. 1 gone here in the second. Slow squibbler through to Ballard. And Ballard's got Rice over at first. 2 gone for Lauren Bishop. But definitely some nice postseason, and of course, whoever wins the ACCC in softball heads to St. George, Utah. Whoever wins the ACCC in baseball goes to Grand Junction, Colorado. There is no stop in between for the ACCC. Not true for all regions. Count evens up 1 apiece on Bishop. We do some GCAA softball and baseball. They've got an extra stop along the way. They have to compete in a district tournament before advancing. And what a tough district, too, because you got to play those teams out of Region 7. As a matter of fact, I've got to pull up the NJCAA baseball polls because I think we've got a team that is highly ranked. Again, fouled off by Bishop out of Region 7. I do know that Chipola has taken over the top spot, I think, in the baseball polls, but I need to be precise, right? So let me pull up those polls and see. When you're my age and you're trying to do it all from memory, there could be problems. 1 and 2 on Bishop. Here is the 1-2 offering from Jenna Ballard. Comes in low and inside. Baseball, Chipola is 1. Dyersburg State is 2. McLennan is 3. Chat Valley 4. Crowder 5. Polk State 6. Palm Beach 7. Cochise is 8 as it is fielded at third by Ward. And Bishop is out on the 5-3. Your 9 team is Odessa, and Wallace State Hansful is number 10 in the nation. We'll take a look at those softball polls when we come back for the bottom of the second. It's a 1-0 Central Alabama lead. We head to the bottom of the second. Peyton Schwisher leading things off. Emily Malone, Peyton Kirkus due up in the inning after a 1-2-3 top part of the inning. Fielding, Rice and Bishop all go down to Jenna Ballard. And Jenna Ballard, after giving up that 1 run in the first, has settled down a bit, setting down 5 straight. John C., I mentioned 11 strikeouts when they met on the 23rd of March. Had 1 in the first inning of this one. And now has 152 on the year. Count evens up at 1 apiece. Your NJCAA Division I softball polls has Butler as number 1. Salt Lake 2. Chipola is 3. Florida Southwestern State is 4. And then you got a couple of Seminole states. Seminole State in Oklahoma 5. Seminole State in Florida 6. Central Florida is 7, Yavapai 8, Odessa 9, and Weatherford 10. Nobody out of the ACCC in the top 20 or receiving votes, and one team out of the GCAA, Georgia Military, in the also receiving votes category. Tennessee, on the other hand, pretty well represented in both the baseball and softball polls. In softball, you've got Walter State in the top 20. You've got Chattanooga State in the top 20. Two balls, two strikes on Peyton Schwisher. By the way, we're at the bottom of the second. You know what we do in the third. We open up the shout-out lines, allow you an opportunity to text in your go-get-ems to player, team, or I guess it could be to somebody you know who's watching the game elsewhere. There's another strikeout, this one of Swisher. And we are paying a little more attention to Twitter because some of the messages, the shout-outs have been coming via tweet. So I'll periodically give that a look too. By the way, speaking of tweet, on Twitter, there are clips, highlights from the previous game. And you can find them by putting hashtag ACCC Sports in that search engine. Hashtag ACCC Sports. Be sure to like and retweet. Or if it's on Facebook, like and I guess copy and paste or share. Opening game, got a couple of home runs, got a double play, got a nice defensive stop. Here's the 0-2 to Emily Malone. Swing and a miss, couple of Ks back to back. And got the double play for this one already on Twitter and Facebook. Two gone as Peyton Kirkus comes to the plate. Morgan Holloway next. One nothing Lady Trojan lead in the bottom of the second. Johnsey apparently has found her groove. Got her groove back. Got Ward to strike out in the first. And she's just been blowing them by. Swisher and Malone now facing Kirkus. Down the line, that is foul, but barely. Just missed being fair. Traveled into foul territory in front of the bag at first. It was close. Well, our producer and I disagreeing. I'm thinking it was foul. Looked like it went just to the other side of the bag. Did it go over or just to the other side? Yeah, right there it looks, I mean, just by not even inches, millimeters. High with the pitch to Kirkus, and the count goes 1-2. Got to put in my thank you very much per contest to Dean Myrick, the commissioner of the ACCC. He has been hard at work, by the way, though not here. I have noticed that a lot of the tweets that we have sent out have been retweeted by the ACCC, and I think that's one of the many tasks he handles. Smith in center field will have it for out number 3. Well, we talked about Ballard setting down 5 in a row. Where Central Alabama is concerned, Johnsey is now set down 4 straight as the side is retired in order in the top and bottom part of inning 2. Third inning coming up. We're going to get to your shout-outs as well when we return. We enter the third, bottom of the order. Jody Caldwell leading things off for Central Alabama. Well, let's do it. Got to give you all of the third to get those shout-outs in. Wherever you may be watching from, let us know. And, of course, mixed in with a shout-out, got to put your favorite team member or favorite team on. There you see at the top of your screen, adjacent to the scoreboard, 334-488-1385. So the shout-out's got to, have a shout-out to a player or team. Then let us know where you are watching from. And, I used to add those unique spots, but these days you can watch the game from anywhere. But I guess we could still take those. Or even selfies. If you're watching to the campus mall and got a lot of people gathered around the iPhone, the iPad, the laptop, or if you're watching on a Roku device, our coverage is available on Roku. Snap a photo, send it to us. Same number, 334-488-1385. We'll do it during the third, so don't wait till the fourth. 2-1 on Caldwell. Smith and Gibbons will follow. Turning into a gorgeous evening. No wind, cool temperatures. Fouled out of play. Not too far away from an area that we want it to stay far away from, where the production vehicle is parked. There's another spot in center field that we would like for it to stay clear of, too. In foul territory. Count even to a piece on Caldwell. ACCC Game of the Week. Here in Wadley this week, Tuesday in Decatur, Alabama, MMI and Calhoun. Wide over to first. And might have got a piece of Ballard's mitt, which would make it a 1-4-3. So one out as we get back to the top of the order. Shamina Smith wrapped into the 1-3 in the first, batting here in the third. Reaching for a pitch that was outside of the strike zone. Smith ground out to the pitcher in the first. Kendra Gibbons on deck. There are some pitchers that are a little bit out of the strike zone. That would fit into the way out of the strike zone. Smith awaits on the corner. Couple of strikes on Smith. Well, there's a shout out watching from Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to Rocco Vallone watching from Atlanta, Georgia. And favorite player is Sabrina Thomas from CACC. Well, thank you very much, Rocco. And we'll say hello to Sabrina Thomas, or actually you already have. And it'll be on the archive version of the coverage as well. Nice stop at third by Warren. Got Smith at first. And that's how the shout-outs work. Player mention, spot you're watching. 334-488-1385. Warren has played some nice softball over there on the hot corner. Two gone for Kendra Gibbons. Gibbons with a single and a run scored in the first. The game's only run came from this lady in the first inning, driven in by Chelsea Mowry. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And the count will go even at one each. This is a tough lady. I mean, that's the second time she's fouled a pitch off of herself, and it's like, hey, no big deal. I'm focused. I don't feel pain. Back in to face the 1-1. Again to Ward. And again her throw at first. Malone, and another collision between she and Gibbons. Well, the throw pulled Malone off a bit. And then she tried to get back over to the bag and get the foot. And now the officials are going to confer based on appeal, and it is going to be safe at first, Gibbons. And at least from the angle behind the plate, looked like indeed she did make it. Let's see from this angle, off the bag. Well, I don't know. She might have been out. It officially is going to go down as an E5, but it looked like Malone might have gotten that foot back on the bag. Here again, a look as the throw pulled Malone off the bag. Reached back right there and got the foot on the bag just before the arrival of Gibbons. Well, replays at the junior college level only available at the national championship level, and I don't know that in baseball it's available, period. It is in basketball. So though it may come at some point, it's not going to be any point soon. Nicole Hoots, who started at first, now behind the plate. Walked in the first, 2 gone, has Gibbons over at first. And that Ward error, her first of the game, and Southern Union's first of the game as well. Popped up foul territory, and over goes Bradford, and Hoots is out, number 3. So no damage done by the error. Gibbons will be stranded over at first as Bradford puts an end to the top of the third. We go to the bottom part of the inning. I see some shout-outs coming in, so we'll get to those when we return to Wadley. We head to the bottom of the third. Morgan Holloway will start things off for Southern Union. Sierra Bond, and then back to the top of the order, Molly White duo. Don't forget shout-outs. We do them in the third. 334-488-1385. Hello to Molino, Florida. Watching from the Panhandle. Shout-out to assistant coach Tori Perkins and head coach Ali Silva. Go Lady Bison. And Molino, Florida, if I'm not mistaken, is the home to a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer. Pitcher Don Sutton comes from that neck of the woods, and good to have Molino watching the coverage. Shout out to Sierra Bond and the Lady Bison watching from, is that Leighton, Alabama? Leighton? Leighton or Layton, Alabama? I live in Alabama, I should know, but I don't. But thank you very much for watching and sending the shout out to Sierra Bond. Count even, one apiece. Speaking of Don Sutton, we do some work with Perfect Game, and there's a gentleman by the name of Daryl Sutton who knows Don fairly well. It's his son, who's a former Major League Baseball play-by-play guy. I did not know that Darren Sutton also pitched in the majors. James Crenshaw, who is a wealth of information, our producer in my ear telling me such. But stands to reason, Don Sutton. So many years with, I think it was the Dodgers, and then, of course, his recognition with the Braves has been as an announcer. Darren Sutton, some time with the Astros, and also following in his dad's footsteps in the broadcast business. Now, I know, doing some work with Fox Sports. Foul out of play again. As a matter of fact, I think Darren was at the College World Series in Grand Junction last year, doing some work there. MLB was there, and Darren was in Grand Junction on MLB's behalf. 3-2 offering to Holloway. Count still full, 3-2 on Holloway here in the bottom of the third. 334-488-1385 to get your shout-outs in the third. Payoff pitch, fouled off again. Sierra Bond, Molly White due up in the inning too. John C. 3 Ks in the contest, 2 came in the second. And now her fourth comes in the third. .155 strikeouts in the season now for John C. Maybe a little bit inside. But it turns into the fourth strikeout of the game for John C. as Sierra Bond comes to the plate for the first time in the contest. By the way, again, our apologies that occasionally a baseball fan gets a little camera time. The facility means that our camera guys basically got to be in the stands, and as a matter of fact, you can see him from our center field shot. And occasionally a fan will walk between camera and game. We are going to have to, I guess the next time we come to Wadley, we will hire some additional personnel and one simply to tackle anyone who tries to walk between camera and field. Back into the box goes Bond. Socks it up the middle on a drawn-in infield, and Bond able to pounce on it and poke it into center field. That is the second hit of the game for Southern Union. And it's got the tying run aboard here in the bottom of the third as we go back to the top of the order. Molly White coming to the plate. Brooke Ward to the on-deck circle. Shout out to number 27, Hayden Claypool. And go Lady Bison. Thank you very much. We do it for the third, which means you got a couple of more outs to sneak in the shout-outs. John C's obviously got some heat on her throws to home plate. 1-0 the count on Molly White, who ground into the 6-3 in the first. Brooke Ward and then Morgan Bradford due up. Morgan Bradford has had a big day and continues to produce here in game number 2. So if you are Central Alabama, based on the way Bradford has played today, you want to pitch to her with nobody on, leading off an inning. And if you're going to do that, you got to get 2 more before Bradford comes to the plate. One aboard, one gone outside of the strike zone from Johnsey. Well, I can see why Courtney Ray has an injured thumb. Boy, there is some velocity behind the Johnsey throw. Count goes even, 2 apiece. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bond at first. Wide awaits. Johnsey delivers. And we've seen so many pitches fouled off because it is so difficult to turn on a pitch from Johnsey. But here's the thing about if you do time it perfectly on a fastball pitcher, then it's probably going to go a long way. First problem you got to contend with, though, is catching up with it. Into right field and right at Jody Caldwell. 2 gone for Brooke Ward. Morgan Bradford to the on-deck circle. Brooke Ward, a strikeout victim in the first. 1 of 4 Ks for Natalie Johnsey. Little half swing, quick throw over in time. Rice able to get it to Mowry. And Ward will go out on the 4-3. 1 base runner gets on. Bond compliments with a single. Nobody scores, though. 4 go up, 3 go down, 1 left on. It's still a 1-0 Central Alabama lead as we head to the 4th. A new pitcher coming into the circle for Southern Union. That is Chelsea King. Chelsea King making her 22nd appearance of the year. 5-7 overall with a save in 5 complete games, 59 innings of work. 72 hits given up, 40 runs, 34 earned, 27 walks, 20 strikeouts, 5 long balls, 4.01 ERA for Chelsea King. So the day ends for Jenna Ballard, or does it? I guess we don't need to totally close the books on Jenna Ballard because if you'll recall in the opening game, Kayla Howard started for Southern Union, worked 3 innings, left for 2 2/3, and then came back in and finished the ball game for Southern Union. So, heck, that formula worked in the first game. I guess you might think about it in game 2, but at least for the moment it's done for Ballard. 3 innings of work for Ballard, faced 12. No strikeouts, 1 walk. And gave up a total of 2 hits and a run. So Ballard will leave. King will step in, and boy, does she face pretty good average to begin with. That is Mallory. Mallory, a .440 hitter coming into the day. Has driven in the game's only run, and that was the single that brought in Gibbons in the first. She has got home run power, but thus far today we haven't seen it. 5 times this year she's gone yard. Opening game saw Hoots and Ray go deep. Here's the 0-1 offering to Mallory. Well, interestingly, Courtney Ray is going to hit for herself. Courtney Ray, the catcher who came out with a hand injury. And we wondered what would happen with a 5 spot in the batting order. Well, Ray's still there. Hit the second. White fields cleanly and gets Mallory on the 4-3. Well, it is good news where Ray is concerned is that it is not injured so much so that she cannot play. And it might be that Johnson's got so much heat, and when you've got an injury, it's going to aggravate it. Low and away to Courtney Ray. So Ray becomes the DP and stays in the game at the 5 spot. Hit again to White, and White again to first. So Mallory's become the first baseman after Hoots went to catch when Ray went out with a hand injury. But you know, even though obviously she can play, still, ball making contact with the bat's got to rattle the thumb. It's not like catching Johnsy on every pitch, but it still cannot be pain-free as Ashton Fielding will bat. Moment inside to even the count at 1. Fielding ground out to short in the second. Shelby Rice on deck. We're in the 4th in game number 2 of the doubleheader, a 1-0 advantage. Central Alabama. That run came in the first. Chelsea King in relief of Jenna Ballard. Roll towards Bradford, and she'll whip it over to first. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 4th. Let's go to the bottom part of the inning. Speaking of Bradford, she's the lady who will lead it off for the Lady Bison when we return. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th. Morgan Bradford, Alex Smithson, Peyton Schwisher due up in the inning for Southern Union. Boy, if we could just have this kind of weather for every game the entire baseball and softball season, I, who probably does too much complaining, would not complain at all. It is a gorgeous night here. Clear skies, absolutely no breeze. And temperatures got to be in the lower 70s, upper 60s. Let's see. It says currently 73. I'm thinking it's a little cooler than that. Morgan Bradford, who doubled in the first, batting here in the fourth. She's had 4 hits today. He's 4 for 5 overall. Came into the day batting .336. I would say that average is up around .345 or .350 about now. Here is the 2-1 offering to Bradford. Three and 1 on Bradford. Johnsey stepped out of the circle, back in. 4 Ks in the game, and now she walks Bradford. Bradford has been a problem spot for Central Alabama. 6 at-bats now, and 5 times she's been on base. So Bradford over at first as Alex Smithson steps in. Bradford had an on-base percentage of 45%. That's got to be up around 50 after today. Alex Smithson popped out to center field in the first. Let's see if she wants to sacrifice Bradford over. Is showing bunt. No look by Johnsey, and I can't say that I blame her, because if she had looked to second, I don't know that she would have gotten Smithson at first. That was a bang-bang play at first. And if Johnsey had taken a glance, that might have been enough to get Smithson on. So Bradford will get into scoring position. The tying run is an RBI possibility for Peyton Schwisser. Schwisser, a .290 hitter on the year. 16 RBIs. Sure would like to get at least Bradford to third. Her preference, bring her in. Her worst case, get her to third. Here is the 0-2 offering over to Mallory, and she has indeed gotten Bradford to third, but Schwisser is out number 2. Well, we may have to wrap up the ball game here in the bottom of the fourth, because I think I smell barbecue wafting across the field. I don't know where it is coming from. Hayden Claypool will bat for Emily Malone. So Malone, who struck out in the second, being replaced by Claypool here in the fourth. Claypool, a .308 hitter on the year. 91 plate appearances, 28 hits in those 91 trips to the plate. 6 doubles, everything else singles. And the opening pitch from Johnsey takes an evil hop on Bishop, and this game is tied at 1. Right at the last minute, took an odd hop on Bishop. She will be charged with the error. Claypool goes to first, but more importantly for the Bison, Bradford comes in from third. And it's now a 1-1 contest for Peyton Kirkus. Here again, that shot to Bishop. And then it just took a bit of an odd hop on her. Over towards Mowry, and Mowry will get Kirkus on the unassisted put out at first. One base runner is left on, but more importantly for Southern Union, Bradford comes in on the E6. It's a 1-1 game as we head to the fifth. Tied at 1 apiece as we head to the top part of the fifth. Shelby Rice, Lauren Bishop, Jody Caldwell due up in the inning. Errors created problems for Central Alabama in the opening game. They committed 3. And errors creating problems for Central Alabama here in game number 2 as well. As the error during the Claypool at-bat, allowing Bradford to come in and tie the game at 1. Well, Jenna Ballard's off the hook. She can't lose this one. Left after 3 innings, down by a run, but it's all tied up. So the starting pitcher for Southern Union is no longer the pitcher of record. Totally out of the mix. It's on Chelsea King and Natalie Johnsey. And Shelby Rice steps in, wrapped into the 1-3. She was the middle out in the second inning. Foul territory is Swisher. Able to get to it. Well, I can hear the ESPN stinger, so it's in an area where I can't see, nor can our camera up. It's a section that's blocked off by the third base dugout, but obviously a great catch. One gone, Lauren Bishop, who ground into the out at third in the second batting. Carried through on her offer to bunt. Nothing in 1 on Bishop. Jody Caldwell moving to the on-deck circle. And the count will go even at 1 apiece. And don't forget about liking us on Facebook, following us on Twitter. We are trying to build the numbers. Sock towards left, and that will find the gap and roll. All the way to the fence. Bishop motors into second there easily. And now an error committed that allows Bishop to get to third. Perfect shot towards the gap in left center field. And then cutoff was missed. So it will be a Peyton Swisher error as she missed cutoff. Well, not sure if it's an E7 or an E6, but we know it's an E. Cutoff may not have been where cutoff was supposed to be. And Caldwell will come to the plate with Bishop at third, a chance to reclaim the lead for Central Alabama. Caldwell ground into a 1-4-3. It got a piece of Ballard's mitt before White got it at second. Nothing at home plate. So the bunt by Caldwell brings in the go-ahead run. King thought about it, but she realized there was no opportunity thanks to the great wheels at third from Bishop. And the tie game was short-lived from the bottom of the fourth to the top of the fifth. A 2-1 contest. Shatima Smith back into the box. Two gone, 2-1. Central Alabama with the advantage. Smith ground out the pitcher in the first, to third in the third, and to third in the fifth. 5-3 goes the putout, but Central Alabama is back out in front. Compliments of the double by Bishop, and in the safety squeeze by Caldwell. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Southern Union, who tied things up at one apiece in the bottom of the fourth, down by a run again here in the bottom part of the fifth. Bishop with a one-out double. Advanced to third on a throwing error. And Caldwell comes in, lays down the bunt that drives in Bishop. So a 2-1 game as Morgan Holloway steps in to lead things off for Southern Union. Sierra Bond on deck, and then we go back to the top of the order for Southern Union. First pitch popped up. Mowry should be able to, but can't. Might have been the headgear. She was in foul territory, had a chance to bring it in, but she is wearing a face mask and looking skyward. That's got to create some problems for you. It gives Morgan Holloway another opportunity. Let's see if she makes the Trojans pay. Holloway struck out looking in the third. Here is the 0-2 offering as Holloway steps back in. And a great spot to find out everything that is ACCC related is ACCCathletics.com. That's where you can find standing schedules, statistics, and more. And when you go to the site and punch on the softball tab for standings, you see that in the North, Shelton State is now the #1 team in the North. Wallace State, hands full, is currently listed 2, and that's basically because of their overall record. Shelton State's overall record a little better than Wallace State. They are both 16-4 in the conference. Snead State 13-9, and then you got Central Alabama coming into the day 11-9, but lost the opening game So now 11 and 10. Calhoun next, followed by Southern Union. 6 and 14 coming into the day. Now 7 and 14. Popped out to Gibbons at third, and Holloway is out number 1. And Sierra Bond comes to the plate. You want to be one of the top 6 teams, and right now it looks like your 6 out of the North will be Shelton State, Wallace State, Snead State, Central Alabama, Calhoun, and Southern Union. And Marion Military would be left out of the mix with a 1-18 conference mark. Currently, Central Alabama is 4. Southern Union is 6. Base hit for Bond. With about 2 weeks left of the season, which means you've got, I'm guessing, at about 4 to 6 games per week. So you've got about 8 to 12 games left in conference play. So a lot of things could happen between now and the end of the month. Meanwhile, in the South Division, Faulkner State is number 1. Popped up towards Rice at second. And there are 2 outs. Two gone for Brooke Ward. Ward 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. But in the South, you've got Faulkner State 1, Wallace Dothan 2, Alabama Southern 3, Chat Valley 4, Bishop State 5, Jeff Davis 6, LBW 7, and Enterprise State 8. So if you were to go to Alabaster today, as that pops out of the mitt of Hoots. And the pass ball's got Bond in scoring position. So that tying run again in scoring position for Southern Union here in the bottom of the 5th. Brooke Ward struck out in the first, ground out in the third. An appeal to see if she went, and she did not. So if today you were to head to Alabaster, the 6 that would go from the South would be Faulkner State, Wallace Dothan, Alabama Southern, Chat Valley, Bishop State, and Jeff Davis. Hit to Gibbons. She'll throw it into the dirt. Mallory will get the scoop and get the out. Well, let's take a look at the replay and see if the replay supports the contention, and just might. Close over at first. Gibbons to Lowry. Did she get it there? I think so. 2-1. We enter the sixth. Kendra Gibbons starting things off. Nicole Hoots, Chelsea Mallory due up in the inning as well. Two-one contest. Central Alabama, they got their first run in the first inning, got their latest run in the fifth. Southern Union's only run in the fourth. Gibbons with a single and is reached on an error. And she represents the first run scored for Central Alabama in the first. Here's the 1-0 offering. 2-0 from Chelsea King. King came in after the third, worked the fourth, worked the fifth, and is now in the sixth inning. Nicole Hoots, Chelsea Mallory due up in the inning too. Gibbons in the opening game, a triple and a couple of walks. This game, a single and is reached on an error. We were talking about the on-base percentage, pretty good for Gibbons as well. She has been to the plate 4, 5, 6 times and has been on base 5 times. Here's the 3-1. Pounced on it, drives it foul. So Gibbons and Bradford battling for the best on-base percentage of the doubleheader. I mentioned that Bradford came in averaging getting on base about 45% of the time she comes to the plate. Gibbons about 42% of the time. Here comes the payoff pitch to Gibbons. That one socked towards left field, backing up to the warning track before the fence. Catch made by Peyton Swisher. Another outstanding defensive play by Swisher. Just ahead of the fence. Knew she was near based on the warning track beneath her feet. And Gibbons out number 1 in the sixth on the fly out to Swisher. Nicole Hoots, who has walked and popped out, is next. On the inside part of the plate, strike one to Hoots. Chelsea Mallory moving to the on-deck circle. Gibbons hit that about as far as you can hit it without hitting it out. And Swisher able to catch up with it near the wall. Somehow have a feeling that could be a clip you'll see on Twitter and Facebook in a bit. Fouled off. Ward grabbed it in foul territory. And of course, you can see clips by putting hashtag ACCC Sports in the search engine on Twitter and Facebook. And then, of course, the other request when you do so is to be sure to like it, retweet it, or share it. Here is the 1-2 offering to Nicole Hoots. Not many games this year that Central Alabama has gone home run free. Thus far, in this one, nary a shot out of the park, though Gibbons got close. But of course, in the first game, nothing had left the park until the sixth inning. And here we are in the sixth again with Hoots batting. Just out of play. There's an area in which it landed, which is where they keep some of the tools to prep the field. And that's a spot where ball player nor fan can retrieve. Count even to a piece on Hoots. 1 out, nobody aboard here in the top of the 6th. Shot into left field, and Hoots is on with a solid single. Hit number 4 in the game. Central Alabama 4 hits in the opening game and pick up their 4th hit here in game number 2. Meanwhile, Southern Union 11 smacks in the opening contest and 3 here in game 2. That brings the .440 hitter to the plate, Chelsea Mowry. And that one fouled back, out of play. Mowry with an RBI single in the first, wrapped into a 4-3 in the 4th. Sends this one towards center field. Diving, trying to get there. Peyton Kirkus couldn't. Hoots rounding third. Coming home. She will score. Mowry's at second with a double. It was close, but Kirkus stretching out the frame. Couldn't make the catch. And that'll bring Courtney Ray to the plate with a base runner at second in scoring position, and now the biggest lead of the day for Central Alabama. A 2-run advantage. And we may have a runner coming in for Mowry. And we do. That is Natalie Landers, who will run for Mowry. Landers came in and ran for Mowry in the opening game and was there for about a pitch at first. And is now in the game for Mowry at second in the 6th inning. If I'm not mistaken, it may have been the 6th inning she came in the opening game for Mowry. It was. Courtney Ray. On the inside part of the plate to Ray. Ray hit into a double play in the first, into a 4-3 in the 4th. She is 0 for 2. Ashton Fielding on deck. She has got some green grass between the foul line and Sierra Bond and Wright. And the lefty would love to drop it down the line. Asks for time and gets it. Courtney Ray, a .346 hitter coming into the day. Hit her 8th home run of the season in the 6th inning of the opening game. Into center field, base hit. Landers rounding third. She will come in and score. Ray on her way to second, and they're standing. And the Central Alabama lead is now 4-1. Ashton Fielding coming to the plate, a pair of ground outs to short. So Gibbons scores in the first, Bishop in the 5th, Hoots and Mowry. Landers running for Mowry in the 6th. And Fielding batting with a base runner in scoring position, that is Ray. By the way, Claypool, who came in and batted for first baseman Emily Malone, in the fourth, is still in the game at first. So Hayden Claypool staying in, another base hit. Fielding delivering with a single. Ray will go to third. And that's going to do it for Chelsea King. And it looks like the lady who started and ended the opening game may be headed to the pitching circle again. Let's see if Kayla Howard is on her way to the circle, and that's indeed who is coming in. She started game one. She sat out 2 2/3 and then finished it up. And she's going to try to finish game two as well. Kayla Howard and her numbers when we return. Chelsea King had only given up one base hit in her 2 innings of work coming into the sixth. Gives up 4 hits in the 6th inning, including a couple of extra base hits. And those hits all back-to-back have finished the day for Chelsea King. And Kayla Howard, who started and finished the opening game, is called upon to wrap up game number 2, facing Shelby Rice. Showing bunt with runners at first and third. Fielding will take off for second, and she will be there without a throw. Lauren Bishop on deck. So Chelsea King works 2 1/3, faces 12. No strikeouts, no walks, 5 hits given up. 3 runs thus far. And the 2 on Ray and Fielding would be her responsibility as well. Kayla Howard coming into the day. 22 previous appearances. I guess my question where Howard is concerned is that her performance in the opening game, I would assume, means 2 appearances. She appeared as a starter and she appeared as a reliever. I don't know how those work stat-wise, as Rice got a piece of it. '88 innings of work, a 4.68 ERA, 6 home runs given up by Kayla Howard coming into the day. 36 strikeouts, 53 walks. In the opening game, she issued 3 walks. So now 56 walks on the year against 36 strikeouts for Kayla Howard. And now another walk, as Rice is given a free pass to first to load things up. Rice at first, Fielding at second, Ray the base runner at third. And Lauren Bishop steps in. Bishop ground into a 5-3, almost got hit by the pitch, rolls to the screen, Ray in from third, and it's a 5-1 game. Lauren Bishop doing a, what is that name for the ballet move? It's Perriette or something like that. Perrier. I don't know. That's a wine, isn't it? Obviously I'm not into ballet. Confusion on who should field, who should cover. Bishop is safe and another run's in. It is now a 6-1 game.
10 for 13.
Katie Watson batting for Jody Caldwell. Watson came in and batted for Lauren Bishop in the 7th inning of the preceding game and popped out to left field. She will come in and bat for Caldwell here in the 6th inning of this one. A .288 hitter on the year coming in with 4 home runs and 17 RBIs. Central Alabama 4 runs now in the 6th. And we can close the books on Chelsea King. She will give up a total of 5. Stolen base for Bishop. And a couple of base runners in scoring position with 1 out still, as Watson will bat. Hit to Claypool, and she'll get the bag quickly and make sure nobody else advances. Two outs, back to the top of the order we go. 9 at bats in the 6th inning for Central Alabama.
Top of the order for the lady coach, number 24.
Smith 0 for 3 on the day. Has ground out to the pitcher and to third twice. Taking a look at some other sports scores. We'll start in Major League Baseball. Top of the 8th, White Sox with a 9-3 lead over the Indians. Sock towards left field. That is against the wall. Smith pulls into second. Coming home is Rice and Bishop. Two RBIs from Shatima Smith. And Central Alabama has batted around here in the 6th. It is now an 8-1 lead as Kendra Gibbons comes to the plate. It was Gibbons who began the inning, popping out to left field. Since then, the only out was Watson's ground out to first. That one is out of here, no doubt about it. If it's on the right side of the foul pole, it is Kendra Gibbons. A 2-run blast. When you wind up in the bed of a pickup truck inside the foul pole but outside of the fence, you got yourself a 2-run shot. 12th home run of the year for Kendra Gibbons. And now you have certainly got some concern on the part of Southern Union because you've only got 3 outs with which to work.
16 for 13.
If you don't cut into that gap, it's 8 after 5, and the lead is currently 9. And we're about to see our 4th pitcher of the game. But it's not a new face. We saw her in the opening game. Bailey Singleton after this. Bailey Singleton, who worked 2 2/3 innings in the opening contest, faced 16, struck out 2 and walked 4. Replacing Kayla Howard, who works 1/3 of an inning. Faced 5, no strikeouts, a walk, 3 hits, including a double and a home run, and 4 runs given up. Well, it was a passing along major league scores when we got the Kendra Gibbons blast. White Sox a 10-3 lead over the Indians now in the top of the 8th. Rays with a 2-1 lead over the Yankees, bottom of the 7th. Orioles 2-1 over the Blue Jays, end of 7. Brewers a 5-1 lead over the Reds, bottom of the 8th. Finals, Twins beat the Tigers 11-5. Red Sox over the Pirates 4-3. Cubs blanked the Dodgers 4-zip. Rangers over the Angels 8-3. Two and 1 on Nicole Hoots. Hoots has already singled and scored a run this inning. Jenna Ballard got the start, worked 3 innings. Chelsea Keene came in, worked 2 1/3. Kayla Howard works 1/3 of an inning, and now Bailey Singleton pitching for Southern Union in a 10-1 game. On the inside part of the plate, Central Alabama has won 7 games this year early. Games that ended early and didn't have to go the full 7. Over near the batting cages. If it looks like it's floating through the air and rolling in the darkness, that's because it's actually on top of a netting which covers the batting cage. Low with the pitch to Hoots, and she is on. And Chelsea Mowry coming to the plate. She is the 12th to bat this inning. And coach had to come over and tell the official, wait a minute, if Mowry's going to bat, she's actually not officially in the game. Landers came in and ran for Mowry. So Landers was officially in at the 4 spot, and coach had to come over and change that before Mowry got into the box and took a pitch. Outside with the pitch to Mowry, who singled in the 1st and drove in a run. Doubled in the 6th and drove in a run. And in between, ground out to 2nd. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Pop towards Bond in right. And she's got it for out number 3. But not before 12 come to the plate. And a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 score. 10-1 Central Alabama as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th, Morgan Bradford slated to start things off. Alex Smithson, Peyton Schwisher due up in the inning 2. Southern Union's got to plate 2 runs. If they plate 1, and that's it in the bottom of the 6th, we don't go to the 7th. If they played a couple of runs, we go to the 7th. There's where you need to go to see highlights of this game, highlights of the game that preceded, plus, of course, the social media thing. We inform you, you inform us. On Twitter at JockJive. On Facebook, put JockJive Sports in the search engine. And when you see the stuff like the highlights, share them on Facebook, retweet on Twitter, and of course like them on both. And I see that we've added some Twitter followers nearing tonight's game. Welcome aboard. Great to have you. It's been a big day for Morgan Bradford. This game, she has gone 1 for 2. On the day, she's been on base 5 times in 6 plate appearances. The only time she went down was when she popped out the third in the 6th inning of the opening game. Got some pressure on her here, though, as the leadoff hitter. If you're going to extend the game and give your team a chance in the 7th, then you need to get on here. Here's the 1-1 offering. Two and 1 on Bradford. Alex Smithson, Peyton Schwisher due up in the inning, too. Run rule for the moment activated. Now you can deactivate it if you are Southern Union by getting inside the 8 runs. And Bradford's on again. She has by far been the most difficult out for Central Alabama. In the opening game, Bradford singled, tripled, and popped out. 3 for 4. In this one, a double, a walk, and a single. Alex Smithson, who is 0 for 1, trying to get Bradford over. Drives it towards center field. That is caught on the fly, over the shoulder. I don't know that she knew it was in the mitt, but it was, and Smithson is out. And I'm trying to pick up the numbers. I think that is Lindsey Donaldson that is back in. Donaldson started the opening game in center field. Smith started game number 2, but it is indeed Donaldson who's out in center field. And makes the catch on the run over the shoulder. Bradford has to stay put at first. Schwisher is struck out and ground out. She is 0 for 2. Hayden Claypool moving to the on-deck circle. Well, I mentioned earlier in the broadcast what you get when you time it right, and Smithson almost did. And that's that a fastball pitcher, if you can catch up with a pitch, it'll travel a long way. Hit it to the deepest part of the park. Count even to apiece. And it will stay 2-2 on Schwisher. We are in the bottom of the 6th. Southern Union has got to have 2. Bradford over at first isn't enough. Here's the 2-2 offering from Natalie Johnsey. Swing and a miss. Schwisher's out number 2. Five strikeouts in the game, 156 on the year now for Johnsey. And Hayden Claypool will come to the plate. Reached on an error in the 4th inning. Well, in the event, this is near the end of this one. Great to have you on the broadcast tonight, the ACCC Game of the Week. And the Sports Network headed next week to Decatur, Alabama, Marion Military, and Calhoun on a Tuesday afternoon there in Decatur. This weekend, we're in Alabama for the SWAC Digital Network, Huntsville for Alcorn, and Alabama A&M in softball, Montgomery on Sunday, Jackson State and Alabama State. You can catch those on the SWAC Digital Network. Here is the 2-1 offering to Claypool. 3-1. Well, if you're putting Claypool on, the game extending run would be on the base path for Peyton Kirkus. Here is the 3-1 offering from Chauncey. And the green light, and the count goes 3-2. So a payoff pitch coming to Claypool. Bradford at first, 2 gone. Chauncey trying to wrap it up here. Claypool trying to extend the 6th. Up the middle, base hit. And Kirkus will bat as Claypool delivers. Second hit of the inning, 5th one of the game for Southern Union. 16th hit of the day. And Southern Union trying to extend this one. And now the focus is on Claypool. If Bradford and Claypool come in, we go to the 7th. Kirkus 0 for 2. Flew out to center field. Ground out to first. Morgan Holloway on deck. Here is the 0-1 pitch from Natalie Chauncey. One ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. Big pitch coming up from Chauncey. Facing the bottom of the order trying to produce enough runs to send the game to the 7th and give Southern Union 3 more outs with which to work. And now it's down to the last pitch on Kirkus. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone, 2 on. And Southern Union needing 2 in. Chauncey's pitch. And the count full. And the drama continues here in the bottom of the 6th. Central Alabama trying to split. Southern Union trying to give themselves an opportunity to rally. Payoff pitch. We'll get another one. Three balls, couple of strikes on Kirkus. 212 hitter on the year. 10 RBIs coming into the day. 23 strikeouts, 5 walks. Popped up, right side. In to make the catch in right field. Jody Caldwell in this game will come to an end. So it is a split of the Twin Bill opening game. A victory for Southern Union, 7-4. The nightcap ends a little early after 6 innings of play. And it's a Central Alabama victory, 10-1. Central Alabama now 12-10 in the conference. They are 31-21 overall. Meanwhile, Southern Union 7-15 in conference play. 17-28 is their overall mark. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in Decatur for the ACCC Game of the Week next Tuesday, MMI and Calhoun. Colin has been your camera guy. James Crenshaw, your producer. I'm Robert Williamson, thanking you for watching the ACCC Sports Network.